challenges have I not experienced? Well, I tell you, moving into space like recreational boating, I'm a person of color, and that was a very, very heavy challenge early on. And I was treated in a way that you would call less than respectful in many, many occasions. And I had to grind through it and decide this is where I belong, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I love most about my abilities, is to be able to perform on these boats. And I wasn't going to let anybody turn me away ever.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Chris-Beth Cowie. I'm the founder of ImportFX and the host of BizGrams. And it is my privilege every single day to come on here Monday to Friday at 11:30 to meet with some awesome entrepreneurs that are doing amazing things in our community. And especially at a time like that we're experiencing with COVID, you know, so much has changed, and it's really interesting to learn from their journey and how they are navigating this time. And today I have the privilege and pleasure of having Spike. Spike, I go by Spike, Spike on the water. Spike is an awesome entrepreneur that is doing great things with boats. Spike, good morning to you, and how are you today?
Good morning, Chris-Beth. I just wanted to correct your pronunciation of my name. It's actually Spike on the water. And I'm doing super mega fabulous. I've been up since about 3 a.m. with this thought in my head that I have not done enough for my website. And as an entrepreneur, you know, the clock, it's very hard to turn off. So yeah, today is all about alt text and making sure our website is completely accessible to the seeing impaired. Visually impaired people need the alt text on your images so they can navigate your site properly, where a lot of search engines, once they reach your website, will read the website for people. And there's a lot of disabled sailing people out there that could utilize our services if they just had access to it. So that's one of my missions this week, is to make sure that our website is completely ready to serve everybody on the water.
Hey, that is such a powerful thing. Being mindful of, you know, that accessibility needs and visible and invisible disabilities and serving those clients. So that's really powerful, Spike. In terms of, you know, you already talked about, you know, Spike on the water. Spike, tell us how your entrepreneurial journey got started.
It started very, very long time ago. My dad was a great man. His name was Spike. I was wee Spike. Dad passed away years ago and I became Spike. But the original Spike, my father, Paul Desloges, he bought me a lawnmower. He bought me a lawnmower and introduced me to a guy next door that was a Remax realtor. And all of a sudden I had 50 lawns to cut every week. And I kept that up for a couple summers and had some of my own money and that I had produced from my own labor, and that really started to spark for me. Carrying on as I got into my teenage years, I'm a high school dropout. I went to 10 or 12, maybe even 15 different high schools. I can't even remember, but I started working full time when I was 15 in sales, going door to door, selling vacuums, working parking lots, selling marketing. I worked in human resources, surfing through resumes for deregulation companies. And I've seen basically every hustle there is out there. But one thing that I always gravitated back to was the water. And I found my way to becoming Spike on the Water and our great service company, We Beautify Boats, based here in Toronto, from a journey that started with education in marine technology and recreation at Georgian College. And I transited through the city of Mississauga as a marina operator, Pier 4 Marina downtown Toronto. It's under the bridge right behind the CN Tower. I was a dock master there. I was a towboat captain for many years with Towboat Canada. Now their brand is shifted to Seatow, but I was the guy out there in the middle of the lake saving people when they ran out of gas or ran aground or fouled their prop, and I would dive in and hook them up and pull them back home. And I did many, many, many jobs, but something that always fulfilled me greatly was when I got called on to clean a boat, whether it was to wash it or polish it or give it an extra coat of wax. I was making cash money doing that from when I was a teenager, still doing my co-op jobs. And eventually I walked away from corporate life with the city and decided on my own venture, which was truly inspired by a great mentor of mine. Her name was Muguette Moreau, who taught me about draping. Not everybody knows that I'm a pretty accomplished drapist. I'm handy with a straight pin and long, beautiful fabrics. I really enjoy that as well. But she introduced me to a book called The Artist's Way, and it's a path to higher creativity. And I was really able to dissect my life and understand, you know, what inspires me and what, you know, I'm not attracted to, and, you know, the angels and demons, the energizing and the draining people, places, things, activities that, you know, I had already experienced in my life and what I was looking forward to in my life. And that book is not a reading book. It's really a practice that you invest in for 12 weeks. And I took it very, very seriously and literally, and literally changed my life in 12 weeks and came up with my business plan for Spike on the Water. And I've been on the water now since 1997, every day, absolutely every day. And if it's frozen, it's still on my mind, and it's likely I'm taking a drive down there to get on my laptop and just be inspired by the horizon. But it's literally given my life its full essence and vigor, and that energy that everybody in our bi-weekly or twice weekly chats during the Business Accelerator gets to experience. I'm on the water every day, and I'm extremely happy about it. And it carries me through my waking moments and my sleeping moments, and transitioning from subconscious back to conscious. I'm always on the water right here.
Hey, Spike, that is so powerful. And you know, the passion that you talk about your venture, and yes, it is such a privilege to have you as part of the Business Accelerator. And that passion shines through every single time you share your stories and give feedback and encouragement to your peers in the group. One of the things that you talked about is yes. So the love sign. Okay, so Spike, I'll let you tell our viewers what this is all about.
Well, if you just look at it, it's a little heart. And I forget who even introduced it to me, but it made sense when it was told to me, and it's much easier than doing this or doing this. And like,
hey,
just a little
don't
bit
hate my love, but yes, we've also adopted Spike's little heart. But Spike, the interesting thing, you know, our symbol E4X, it kind of looks like the X at the bottom.
100%.
So people are like, oh, well, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm loving it.
Synchronicity, darling. It's real.
Yeah, so Spike, you know, you talked about having a mentor to guide you along the way. You talk about books helping you really clarifying your experience as an entrepreneur, and you know, talk some of the challenges, trying to figure out what your place in this entrepreneurial landscape looks like. And it is inspiring to me. You know, I will definitely check out that book, The Artist's Way. And if you're looking, maybe it's a book that you would consider picking up too, and to be inspired by. He said life-changing. I mean, you read books or have experience that's life-changing, but when you have them, you got to hold on to those, right, as fuel for and momentum for what you're doing. So Spike, thank you so much for sharing that. And based on what you said as well, Spike, I got your happy place is on the water. I think we have that in common. I love the beach.
Well, you find most humans end up going down to the lake when they're feeling distressed or sad or lonely or contemplative or just unsure how to move forward. Many people may not talk about it, but on every Instagram, somebody's down by the water at some point having a very deep thought, looking at the horizon and realizing that thought and sight and vision is limitless when you're staring into the horizon. Looking forward is one of my values. And, you know, I call myself a futurist. I'm always coming up with new visionary ideas for how to be of more service to my clients and my community. but it all starts with spending enough time in the horizon and having that limitless vision and being gifted that, you know, living here in Toronto, we've got Lake Ontario, and it's just such a blessing that I wish more people recognize as viable for a workplace, as viable for, you know, recreation, is also abundantly accessible for everybody from every income category. You know, 2020 was a year that just exploded in boat sales. There are going to be so many new boaters on the water this year, looking for guidance, looking for people to crew with, looking for people to hang out with on the water. And it's one of those communities, it's one of those places when you're at a marina or yacht club, top of the morning as the sun's just coming up and the ducks and the swans are just chattering, anybody you run into is going to say good morning. It's very old school. It's very classically charming to just share in this environment, in this community, in this lifestyle. Being on the water with, you know, many boaters over the years that have been customers and become friends, and many, many have become mentors as well. These people at the tops of their game and, you know, exceptional professionals from so many different industries. But when we meet on the dock, we're the same. We're people that are just in love with being on the water. And I'm just so grateful to have gone through that process of the Artist's Way, and 1,000 books since then. Let's not stop there. The last book I consumed that is completely inspiring to me is Building a Story Brand. And I can't quote the author right now, but Building a Story Brand.
Donald Miller.
Donald Miller, yes, indeed. He's got lots of content online as well on YouTube, but the book helped me reprocess my conversation in the digital space specifically. I think I present as a person that is of service, but my website was kind of harsh. You know, I got lots of compliments on it, how, you know, it's very accessible. The information is wonderful. I believe an educated client is going to make a good purchasing decision. We're going to have a good relationship rather than just a transaction. I like to, you know, prepare my clients for all that we could offer by educating them on everything that I've learned about actually performing in this space. So now the conversation has become an invite to, you know, seek my guidance, but truly and absolutely, our clients are our heroes. And one thing I introduced in the last 2 years is our Star Client Program. And it's really about shrinking the bubble and giving exceptional priority to our most loyal clients, the people that have recognized the value of showing up to their boat and it's ready to jump on and enjoy or sell it. Because one thing that's for certain about boat ownership is they are always for sale. The best days on the water are the day you bought it and the day you sold it. And everybody that sold their boat recently is currently out looking for another one. So the cycle continues, and, you know, it's just such a blessing to be part of a community like the recreational boating industry, where we're going to be hiring shortly. March and April is when things really start to take off for us. And if you're interested in working with us on the water, making boats beautiful, we perform interior, exterior cleaning, wax and polish and compounded wood refinish and light gel coat repair, steam cleaning from the top of the canvas right down to the engine mounts. Basically any boat bought, sold, burnt, sunk, rotten, riddle, refused in the province of Ontario has been my business to make beautiful for the last 23 years. And I want to invite you to this lifestyle, to this community, to this blessed place that is on the water every day. Visit us at webeautifyboats.com and check out the crew page. There's lots of information about how we do, what we do, when we do, and there's a little button that says apply now. And we'll see if you got the right stuff to join us on the water.
Hey, Spike, 20 years, definitely, I think you nailed that down. I was like, oh, give me more, give me more. That was epic, right? And, you know, as an entrepreneur, to have your one-liners, to have your elevator speech, to have your call out to recruit people, I believe that it is an art and a practice, right? I don't think, you know, maybe you're the super genius, you woke up and you had that all nailed down, but based on some of our conversation, I know that comes with refinement, right? And, you know, it as Spike said, if you are looking for or know someone that's looking for an opportunity to get into the marine industry, definitely reach out to Spike and send them to the website. Spike, you also talked about doing a transformation with your website versus saying, some people are like sell, 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 sell. But what I heard you say is sending out an invitation for them to explore, for them to engage,
serve. Being of greater service is what, your business presentation should be about, is how do I serve you exactly what you need because you want it, because you're interested enough to look. How do I give you the most value from your interactions with me? And that's what I really desire to do. Is I have a discipline for these off-season months when we're not hands on a boat quite as often, that I pour as much energy as I can into the passion, the community, the space that I love being of service to. I make sure that I'm bringing as much value as I can all the time.
Hey, that is so powerful. And I think one of the things, you talked about discipline a little as an entrepreneur, and we talk a lot about personal development. And I know one of the values that you really talk a lot about is discipline. So what does that mean to you, and why is it important, Spike?
Well, having discipline is something absolutely required as not just an entrepreneur, but as a person. Having habits in your life, some are good, some are bad. The more that are good are going to move you further. Having values is very important, attending to them, checking in with yourself, making sure your habits and values are aligned with your direction and your goals. Having smart, measurable, achievable, what was the R?
R? Smart, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
And timely goals.
Smart
Having
goals.
The discipline to follow that schedule, to follow a structure that is leading you towards your goals, actually writing them down. One of my greatest disciplines and greatest practices and greatest benefits to my life has been morning pages. You can see from my Instagram profile, which you find at Spike on the Water, that I often post my affirmations for the day, which is how I finish off morning pages, which is a practice I learned from the Artist Way, which we spoke about earlier. Basically, when I wake up, the second I open my eyes, I take pen to paper and write out 3 pages fully and affirm the day with my new direction. And I rely on a few other tools like the Best Self Journal. I also have a weekly action pad that I use that I set out all my tasks and prioritize. And having these disciplines has helped me, empower my business and empower my crew and the people that come around me. I hope I'm influencing them with these great habits that have helped me achieve so much joy in my life. It really, deduces down to discipline, and having a little discipline in your life means that you're choosing to create your life, not just participate in it, not just passing through, being intentional. My affirmation for 2021 is to be rigorously intentional. And all of these practices that, I've just explained to you, come back to that one simple word, which is the discipline to be more, serve more. It translates to selling more, exploring more, living more, having more value in your life. As soon as you're attending to your values, your life becomes more valuable. And that's what, I'm extremely exuberant with my crew about. Here's another tool. It's called stretch goals. Stretch goals is something that I integrated into my business about 6 years ago, where everything becomes measurable. Every job code that we have is a specific task or a list of tasks that need to be completed in a specific time. And, I don't rush my crew. Absolutely the best presentation, the best results for a customer's premium. But once you become good, you become great, you become excellent, that's when you become fast. And we start to measure that to see that people are getting better. They're becoming better at, what they're participating in. And that takes a lot of discipline just to keep a checkup on how you are participating in each job, in each morning, in each afternoon, in each day, in each week, in each month. If you have a journal, if you have, just a notepad, you can really check in on yourself and see how you're expensing your life, because we're not getting younger. right? We're not going backwards. Technology hasn't taken us quite that far yet. But while you are here, you can be completely intentional about what you're doing here on this planet, on this great rock spinning through the universe, heading in the same direction at the same speed as everybody else on this rock. But what are you doing while you're here in this time? Are you bringing more value to your experience, or are you just passing through? That's a question I have in my interview, is what values are you going to bring to the table? And, are you planning on just like collecting a paycheck and pass them through? Like, I'm really interested in cultivating, the people that I share space with and share my opportunity with and share my community with, and my knowledge and skills that have been developed over 20 years. I'm really intentional about it. And, making sure that people are coming into this space are representing some of the values, some of the foundational values of our business are simple things like love and looking forward and, respectful rapport. And, really being a person of values means that you're bringing more value to your life and everybody around you. And again, it comes back to discipline. You got to mean it. You got to be intentional about it. And that's when you really, really start to win at life and smile.
Yeah. Hey, Spike, that was so powerful and, definitely aligns with my values here at ImportFX and the team that we're working with, the community that we're here to serve. And what I got from what you shared is really not, a one-time thing. You talked about going from good to great to excellent. And that is so beautiful because you hear the progression and knowing that on your journey, you're not just gonna go from good to excellent right away. You may even start as bad. Like, let's go even further. Like, I suck at this thing. Like, people get up and they're like, the book that I oftentimes refer to is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And he talks about the entrepreneurial seizure. We're doing it for the man or woman, and then we want to do it for ourselves. And when we step into this role as an entrepreneur, oftentimes we're stumbling our way through. So we're not good at it. But guess what? You get mentors, you get the books, you start surrounding yourself in a community. Then you go from not so good to great to excellent. And it's really about that momentum. And you shared some insightful piece about setting the intention for the day, waking up and entering into that truth, knowing that, yes, there may be obstacles and things that come along the way, but it is possible. Keep going. And that's really like, you're preaching to the choir here, man. This is what I live and breathe and love, because entrepreneurship is not easy, but it is possible. Right.
Well, I tell you, one of my greatest mentors was Jim Rohn. May he rest in peace. But he's a great speaker, extremely intelligent man. But one thing that he said, one talk that he did that brought a lot of gravity to what we're chatting about now is life is a ladder. You start here, but you can climb your way up. There's somebody out in the world that's making $5 an hour, and there's somebody else out there making $1 million a minute. Just because they had accumulated enough value in their life to be valuable to the others around them. Somebody offering you a check for $5 million thinks you're valuable. They're not making a mistake about it. They're actually saying, hey, I respect what you do and what you offer and what you can bring to our organization, our community, our city, our town, our corporations, whether they're, local or international. There is value that you're bringing to each of these spaces, and starting out local, starting out with yourself, moving out to the community, which is your friends and family, and reaching out a little bit further, which is your neighbors and friends and loved ones, and reaching out a little bit more to your town, your city, your anybody you have access to, your social media, reaching out. You'll see the most people that go live on Instagram and on Facebook, they've identified their values and they're happy to talk about it. They're happy to share and expound all the wonderful energy that they've accumulated on their own first, in that self-care and that self-development and that, knowledge space that everybody has opportunity to go through at some point in their life before they actually step out and do what they truly love. And, you know, I think one thing you hear from a lot of these YouTube videos when people are old, you know, what do you regret most in life? And usually it's time. It's time with your friends and family and loved ones. And that time you create by being rigorously intentional and being extremely disciplined now, so you have time later to enjoy those things.
Yeah, so powerful. And Spike, you know, talking about that journey, what are some of the challenges that you've experienced along the way and have overcome?
What challenges have I not experienced? Well, I tell you, moving into space like recreational boating, I'm a person of color, and that was a very, very heavy challenge early on. And I was treated in a way that you would call less than respectful in many, many occasions. And I had to grind through it and decide this is where I belong, and this is what I want to do, and this is what I love most about my abilities, is to be able to perform on these boats. And I wasn't going to let anybody turn me away ever. And, you know, challenges beyond that, you know, trucks break down, technology doesn't work, running out of money, going flat broke, being late on payroll. That is the worst feeling ever. You know, when all the bills come in at the same time and you miss payroll by 1 or 2 days, you just feel like executing yourself. Like that's the worst feeling for me ever, is not having enough cash in the bank. But it's, you know, chasing money, getting bills paid, being stuck for, you know, 5 digits, 10, 20, 30K some years. I've gotten burned by people that just didn't want to pay their bills, disappeared with their boats, and I've had to make adjustments. You know, from that feedback, I make adjustments, and then we move forward again. Because, you know, one thing you can't do is tell me I'm not great at what I do. And another thing you can't tell me is I don't love showing up for the boats and for, you know, the community. I love doing that. I would do it for free if my rent and my car payments allowed it. You know, I would literally show up on a boat every day and scrub it top to bottom, front to back, inside and out, right down to the keel bolts. I love it. I am energized by that. I plug in some tunes. It's usually some like acid jazz or some Jamiroquai, or, you know, I like this one beatbox performer called Sorrow right now. His rhythms are unbelievable, but I tune that in, and it's literally top to bottom, front to back. Just take it down bit by bit. Like any goal you see, I take a 63, 65, 75-foot yacht and break it down. You know, it's literally top to bottom, front to back, taking it down inch by inch and staying completely focused on the task and presenting the most beautiful boat anybody has ever seen. People show up at their boats after I'm done working on it, or my crew is done working on it, and they come to tears. They are happy tears. They're surprised. They're enthusiastic. They're taking selfies with the team. They're just like, oh, wow. But it all comes from that hardcore focused discipline to get her done. We are there to be of service. We work so they can play on the water every day. And any challenge that comes our way, we're going to take it down with extreme love and extreme discipline and extreme intention to be of best service to everyone that comes in contact with us.
That is so powerful, Spike. And, you know, I'm blown away. I love it. Taking a positive, an attitude of love towards your challenge, right? Love to say, you're going down, I'm planting my stake, I'm not moving, I'm going to overcome, you know? And so I commend you for the work that you've done and continue to do, serving boat owners and loving. And the word that I got from you today is loving what you, truly loving what you do, bringing that positive energy and passion into that space. So Spike, what is one advice or tip you have for entrepreneurs that are out there looking at us today?
Read more books.
Okay, awesome.
Period.
And period.
Read more books.
Yes, yes. And I know throughout our talk today, you shared some very powerful ones. We'll make sure that those books are in the notes that you could go back to and refer to. And Spike, my final question to you today before we wrap up is, I use this word funepical. Funepical means fun and epic adventures, great or small, used for expressing self-love. So what is one thing that you do to express self-love that you consider is funepical?
Funepical or fantabulous or super mega deliciously super yummy fun. I love to dance. I want to be on a dance floor like really soon. I also love to roller skate. I travel like 20 kilometers. Me and my dog go for epic skates across the city. And I also go out on my boat. I go for boat rides. I head right into the horizon, wide open with my tunes blasting and straight into the lake and leave everything behind. And it's just the most glorious, glorious, beautiful feeling. I'm emotional just thinking about my boat right now. Oh my God, I gotta go. I'm gonna go down to the yacht club and just hang out with her for a second after this call. But yeah, absolutely. I love to get outside and use my body. I really like to use my body to, participate in life. And it's dancing, it's roller skating, and it's boating. That's what does it for Spike on the Water.
I think you're our second guest to talk about dancing. I feel I have to bring a dance party for us here soon.
Well, your playlist is picking up. I want to see a few more BPMs on the playlist that you offer us during the break in our meetings during the week. But I want to turn it up, a couple more BPMs.
Okay. Keep adding, keep sending in your playlist. And if you're watching, we'd love to hear what your favorite music are, and we'll definitely add it to a playlist for the BizGrams, which would be super awesome. So Spike, everybody is wondering, what is the name of your boat?
The White Pearl.
Ooh.
Yeah, I when I got the White Pearl, that was her name already, and it was perfect.
It was perfect.
And I just left it that way. And there's a whole ceremony that goes along with changing the name of a boat, where you actually have to take every essence of that name away from the boat, say a prayer to Poseidon, and then you see people crack a bottle, but you're really cheersing Poseidon and asking his permission over a couple drinks. You got to get him sauced up a little bit to give you permission to change the name of a boat. But you do it the right way and you'll be blessed to move forward, or leaving it the same way. You can just honor the craft as it is, because, they're there to carry us across the water into a plane where, most people don't go. Most people don't know. A sailor's life is a hard life, but it's also a beautiful life where you get to experience, the true nature of being in the world. You get to be face to face with the elements. Sailors, they know it extremely well, where they're handling the wind, they're controlling the wind, they're adapting to the wind, they're at the mercy of the wind. And being in that space is where I invite absolutely everybody to go.
That's awesome. Spike, it has truly been a privilege and a pleasure having you on the show today. Please tell our viewers, how can they get in touch with you once more?
Well, you can reach me on all social media platforms at Spike on the Water, and our professional handle is at We Beautify Boats on Instagram. You can also find it on Facebook. SpikeOnTheWater.ca, WeBeautifyBoats.com, and look forward to Boater OS coming up next year.
Awesome. Spike, thank you so much. And to everyone, I wish you all the best for this day. Be intentional, love what you do, and go forth and make a positive difference in the lives of the people that you serve. They are the heroes in your entrepreneurial journey. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.
See you on the water, eh?
Yes.